Welcome to Previously On, a podcast series created to help you through some of the most complex yet brilliant television ever made. Game of Thrones, Season 5, Episode 6, Unbowed, Unbent, Unbroken. We open in Braavos, where Arya continues her training with the Faceless Men. She meticulously cleans a corpse that is then taken through a door by two men. Arya is stopped from following by the waif, who tells us she will know what lies behind when it is time, but not before. Arya asks to play the game of Faces, which is a sort of initiation task where the player must relinquish every aspect of their true identity to pass, and is told she has already played and failed. The waif then tells Arya a story about how she came to be there and who she was before. As she finishes, she asks Arya if she was telling the truth, hinting that to pass the game requires the ability to lie convincingly. One key to becoming one of the Faceless Men is the ability to become so good at lying that the deception is unnoticeable. That night, Jaqen visits and tests her again, picking the lies from her story, hitting her with a stick each time he does so. He repeatedly punishes her when she says she hates the Hound, stating she's lying to him and to herself. On the road to Meereen, Tyrion tells Jorah he killed his own father, hence being on the run. He then inadvertently tells Jorah that his father, Jeor Mormont, former head of the Night's Watch, was killed by the mutineers at Craster's Keep. In the House of Black and White, a father brings his terminally ill daughter to drink from the poisoned water to end her suffering. Arya tells a false story about how she too was ill and drank from the water and was healed. Having proved she can lie, Jaqen takes her to the Hall of Faces, where the faces of those who have died in the temple are stored. He tells Arya she is not ready to become no one, but is ready to become someone else. Tyrion and Jorah are captured by slavers who plan to return them to Volantis and sell them, but Tyrion convinces them Jorah is a valuable knight who would fetch a better price in the fighting pits of Meereen, and the pair are once again moving in the right direction, albeit tied up. Littlefinger is returned to King's Landing at the request of Cersei. He tells her that he is a loyal subject to the crown and that Sansa is at Winterfell and about to marry Ramsay Bolton. Cersei is angry at the Boltons' betrayal. Littlefinger suggests letting Stannis and the Boltons fight one another, and then he'll sweep in with the Vale army to clean up the mess and take control of Winterfell. In return, he asks to be named Warden of the North. Over the sea in Dorne, Jaime and Bronn, disguised as Dornish guards, sneak into the Water Gardens in search of Myrcella. Meanwhile, Ilaria Sand sends the Sand Snakes to abduct her in the name of Oberyn. The princess in question is walking through the gardens with her husband-to-be, Trystane Martell, who Bronn knocks out. Jaime tries to take her, but the Sand Snakes ambush them and the two groups fight briefly before everyone is taken into custody. Olenna Tyrell arrives in King's Landing hoping to free Loras from the Sparrows, warning Cersei that the Lannister and Tyrell alliance is hanging by a thread. At Loras's inquest, he denies being a homosexual and is backed up by Margaery's testimony. The High Sparrow calls Oliver, who describes Loras's very specific birthmark, adding that Margaery saw them in bed together. The High Sparrow then declares there's enough evidence for a trial and has Margaery arrested for lying. Margaery calls for King Tommen to intervene, but her husband can only watch helplessly as she is dragged away. In Winterfell, Sansa marries Ramsay. Later that evening in his chambers, Ramsay demands Sansa undress and that Theon stay and watch. He then rips open her dress and rapes her. Not the nicest endings to an episode. Thanks for listening. Hope it's been helpful. Listen, if you've enjoyed this, I would love it if you subscribed. We've got loads more shows where this came from, and we'd love you to join us for them. If you know someone who needs to get up to speed with Thrones, just send them our way. A 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts from would also be absolutely fantastic. If you've got any feedback, have I pronounced a name wrong? I hope I haven't. Or ideas for a show that we should be covering? We'll almost certainly be doing the big ones, but you never know, there may be others that we've missed. Let us know. I'd love to hear from you over on Twitter. You can find us at Previous Podcast, or just email us hello@previouslyon.co.uk. Previously On is presented by Jamie East and is a Daft Doris production.